Hey guys, welcome to a follow-up crypto video here. I'm going to be talking about Chainlink a bit here, why I like it, why I think it's one of the better altcoins that we should be acquiring and holding on to during this cycle, and what it's supposed to accomplish here. So first of all, what I've done is I've gone to the Binance Academy. I think if you guys want to do some reading up on cryptocurrencies, one of the best places to research and learn is the Binance Academy. They've done a really good job of putting together a lot of really good information. So here I'm just going to read through this with you, and I'm going to explain as we go along a few things. So first of all, what is Chainlink? It says Chainlink has become one of the most commonly used projects in the cryptocurrency space. It's a decentralized Oracle service that can provide external data to smart contracts on Ethereum. In other words, it connects blockchains to the real world. Okay, so first of all, obviously this is built on Ethereum. So it's not a platform like Ethereum or my favorite, Cardano, ADA. I like Ethereum too. But those are platforms that allow these ecosystems to happen. Now, fundamentally, Link is what I would call a utility token because it's built on top of a platform and it provides utility to that ecosystem. And then it says, goes on here, you can think of Chainlink as a committee of wise men and women who are allowed to, always looking to determine the closest thing to the truth. But why can they be deemed to be more trustworthy than others? Let's see. Okay, so let's just move on here. The introduction says smart contracts automate agreements on the blockchain. They evaluate information, and if certain conditions are met, they execute. However, this presents a problem. Now, before it goes on to explain the problem here, what I want to do is explain what a smart contract is, because there's a lot of misconception about smart contracts. A smart contract is really nothing more than a program or some code that tells the computer what to do given certain conditions, which is not really any different than any other programming that developers would do. The biggest difference, obviously, is it's built on a blockchain. It consumes compute resources of nodes in that blockchain, and it's verifiable and it's public. So a smart contract, at the end of the day, what they've done is they've taken this decentralized blockchain and they've put additional criteria in it. So the simplest example of a smart contract I can give you is, say if Jordan and I were to wager 1 ETH on a sports game, all right? So we want to bet, but we want to do this in the blockchain. We want everybody to be able to see our wager and see the winner and verify the winner and so forth and so on. We want to make sure everything's verified and trusted. So, I think the Cowboys are going to win, and he thinks the Patriots are going to win. He's probably going to get my ether. But nonetheless, so we both say transfer 1 ether into a neutral wallet for the sake of this bet, and we both provide our wallet addresses. Now, all of this transferring of ether and the betting of that 1 ether is very, very easy to do. That's all very easily understood on the blockchain, how to transfer between wallets and so forth. The hard part is, how do you verify, where do you get the data of who won the game, and how do we verify that that wasn't tampered with, right? So in a smart contract, a programmer somewhere has to go and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to use ESPN, and I'm going to pull from ESPN's application programming interface, or API, and I'm going to get the results of the game from their API, and then we're going to determine the outcome of the game and the winner of the bet, and then the winner of the bet gets the 2 ether that are sitting in this neutral wallet transferred to them. So one of us loses an ether, the other one gains an ether as a result. But the hard part is, again, how do you normalize, how do you go out to the real world and get that data and get it reliably and have a consistent source? So one programmer might pull the stats from NBA.com, one might pull from ESPN.com, and who knows if they accidentally in the API pulled 2019's results versus 2020's results. Maybe the results are different. There's a lot of variables that go into play. Now, a sports game is much, much simpler than most smart contracts. There's usually a lot of components and data that we need to verify and check. So think of like a housing contract. So say you were going to write a contract on a house in a smart contract. Well, there's all these legalese that we have to go through. You have to have the inspection report and the appraisal and all these other things, and those have to be verified, and the numbers have to line up, and then the so forth and so on. So there's many things that go into a smart contract. There's a lot of data in the real world that has to be pulled in, and having programmers go and just pull data from wherever they can is problematic. So what Chainlink is trying to be is the consistent gateway of truth for the blockchain, and provide consistent data, reliable, verifiable data from out of the blockchain into the blockchain, and from in the blockchain to the real world, right? And so that is a humongous use case, and they are by far the leader in this space. So let's continue on reading here, and let's get back to what we'll reiterate what I was saying. Blockchains don't really have a good way to access external data. The difficulty of connecting off-chain data with on-chain data is one of the greatest challenges facing smart contracts. Chainlink attempts to solve this problem by providing a decentralized Oracle service. In short, an Oracle is a piece of software that translates external data to a language that smart contracts can understand, and vice versa. If you'd like to read more. So there are nodes out there. So one of the things I'm considering doing when I build out the infrastructure for staking nodes is running like Chainlink nodes. There's all kinds of, in the cryptocurrency space, there's all kinds of ways to monetize your compute resources on blockchain. So either it's a stake pool, or Bitcoin Lightning node, or a Chainlink or validator node, right? So I can be a source of Oracle. So somebody can pay. So I can have a service, Brandon's Chainlink node, and I can be pulling data from a very either specific set of sources or a broader set of data that I can supply back into the blockchain. And I can become a well-known gateway for certain types of data. So the idea is that these external nodes, what they do is they go gather data from the real world, and they put it in a data format that's friendly for the smart contracts and the blockchain ecosystem to consume. And then also the same is true in reverse. We can also publish data out to the real world out of the blockchain. So the results of things in the blockchain can easily be published through this gateway. The best analogy of what I can give as to what they're trying to accomplish is, if you remember in the search for the New World in like the 13, 14, 1500s, right? Really, there was a lot of conflict over who was going to control the trade routes between the New World and certain key ports. And so the winners of that ended up gaining significant wealth, and some of them ended up spending their entire wealth trying to gain that dominance and ended up losing, and others gained that dominance and became one of the largest empires ever known to man. So Chainlink is basically is looking like they're going to be the gateway of the trade routes between the New World, or the decentralized DeFi, decentralized finance ecosystem, and the old world, is kind of how you can think about it. So I think I've gone on enough about that. I don't know, we're 8 minutes into the video. Let's just quickly look at their website, and then I want to look at their charts, and I'll give you guys my personal idea on the levels. So you can see here, this is just a little, so I went to Chainlink, I went to Solutions and Overview here, and they talk a little bit about DeFi, but you get the idea here, right? So you see the real world data, all kinds of the little football, the sports data, whatever it is that you want to get, right? And then you've got these off-chain nodes that are taking and doing normalization on that data, and then they're supplying it into any blockchain. So, any blockchain can use this, including Bitcoin. But obviously the main ones, we're going to look at these platform tokens, Ethereum, ADA, Cosmos, Tezos, so forth and so on, Polkadot. And the same is true. So it can take in information from the real world and supply information to the real world. But they are the primary gateway from the New World to the Old World. So that's a humongous use case that I think is, and they're the leaders in that space. So as long as they say the leaders in that space, they're going to be a hot commodity. All right, so let's look at their chart here real fast. Sorry, I normally trade on the 12-hour chart. I zoomed out a little bit so you guys can see more of my notes and things here. Okay, So my opinion on this chart, I have to use the Gemini charts because I've been trying to trade on TradingView with Gemini, although it's very limited. So my chart only goes back so far. The Gemini charts are very kind of stunted. But obviously we see we're on a nice uptrend channel in my opinion. I think it looks like we're going to be rejected here. I keep thinking we're going to be. I keep flipping that between red and green. I think we're going to come down off this channel. I think we're going to come back and test the bottom of this channel when Bitcoin finally has its sell-off here that I'm expecting. I have a buy order personally in at 1330 myself. It's my limit order. As far as price targets on this, I mean, this could easily go to $100, but the main thing that we want to watch here is we see we've peaked out recently here versus Bitcoin. What I'll probably want to do is be kind of proactive about trading in and out of alts back into Bitcoin. So throughout the alt cycle, it happened last time, it's probably going to happen this time, alts get overheated, they get way inflated versus Bitcoin, and then they come kind of crashing back down. And so we can kind of watch I'm going to watch the BTC charts, the BTC dominance quite a bit, and I'm going to be trying my best to position myself in and out of these alts back into Bitcoin when it makes sense to do so. I won't leave. This is the last time I'll go back to the US dollar on this run up here. Once we get a sell off and position back in, I will not be back in the US dollar. I will always be trading in and out of BTC because I don't have any appetite for missing any more of this run sitting in the dollar. But so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade in and out of the alts, and I won't trade 100%. I will look to hold always a portion of ADA, Link, and ETH throughout the entire bull cycle, bull market, but I will be trading a good chunk of maybe up to 50% of ETH and Link specifically back into BTC. And I'm keeping my eye on some other alts, but this video is about Link, so I think that's about all I had. I hope if you guys have any more questions about Link, I can maybe dive into another topic next time, talk more about smart chains. But I think the next video I really want to do is about ADA, and let's talk about why I'm so excited about ADA as a platform and what's unique about it. All right, thanks guys.